Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about my symptoms and experience in the third trimester of my pregnancy. I'm very close to my due date at this point. Literally it's about 3 weeks away and it's a crazy time. I feel like at the moment with the third trimester, time has kind of slowed down a little bit because I'm sitting here and I just know that I could give birth at any time now, and all I'm thinking of is today going to be the day? Is tonight going to be the night? But I'm going to talk about the third trimester symptoms. Obviously, this is just my experience. I can only talk from my personal experience with the third trimester. Some of these symptoms you may have and some of these symptoms you may not have. It just completely depends on you, your body, and of course, your pregnancy. If you're worried about anything in general, don't take my word for it. Please just always double check with your midwife and follow their advice. Basically, they're the professionals, they know what they're doing. The first symptom that I have been getting in the third trimester, specifically in the later half of the third trimester, I've been feeling sick again. Specifically, it's really bad really early on a morning, and then quite late on a night it can get bad, or like into the evening as well. And I just have this sickly, sensitive feeling in my stomach, but it's kind of a very similar sort of sickly feeling that I was constantly feeling throughout the first trimester and very early in the second trimester. Obviously, another very big thing that happens in your third trimester is your baby drops down into your pelvis, ready for labor, basically, ready for birth. And when that happens, it makes you feel different. I didn't know what was quite happening when it happened to me. I just felt different. And when I looked it up online and I saw the different symptoms, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I'm feeling right now. The types of feelings and symptoms that I've been getting when baby dropped was things like extra pressure on the bladder area, on the pelvis, more back pain, just general more discomfort, even more of a need to go for a wee, even more frequently. I have been feeling past the point of tired and very drained, very exhausted yet again. Again, this is very much how I felt in the very first trimester of pregnancy, so that seems to have creeped back in. My appetite has gone a little bit funny, and I think that is obviously because I just have this sensitive, sickly feeling in my stomach. But definitely the appetite seems to have taken a bit of a knock as well. Not as bad as what it was in the first trimester, but it's still bad to the point where I've definitely noticed it here in the third trimester. I've had continued stomach acid problems. That's been really bad. Continued issues with pain in my hips, particularly on a night. If I lay on one side for too long, sometimes it's like only 5 minutes I'll be laying on one side and I have to swap sides. It's completely ridiculous. Sometimes it's really bad and really uncomfortable. It is in both sides, but it seems to be worse on one side more than the other. I'm also getting continued discomfort in my right shoulder, into my arm a little bit, and down into my right shoulder blade. And again, this is something that I spoke to my midwife about, like, is this normal? The sleep is still very much like disjointed, it's very disturbed. I can't get comfortable. It's very hard for me to actually get to sleep in the first place. And then it's even harder for me to stay asleep. I went through a period of about 2 or 3 weeks, a little earlier on in my third trimester. I was getting to sleep at about, I want to say 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Then when I finally did get to sleep, I was actually waking up every hour. And that was incredibly hard. You can imagine how cranky I was going through that. But I guess it's just to prepare me for what's to come, I suppose. Sometimes I can feel my stomach get very hard, very tight. Something else which is kind of weird is that since the second trimester, I've actually been getting a very weird sensation under my left breast, like kind of in the rib cage area, like directly under my left breast. And it kind of tingles, it's kind of painful, it kind of feels like there's a pressure there, and it just is a very weird sensation that I really struggle to describe. I don't know if I've mentioned this in the second trimester video or not actually, but yeah, it's only under my left breast. And I did speak to the midwife about this, and she said, I think it's just because your ribs are kind of stretching and they're changing to accommodate the baby. The second from last one is a sudden urge to go for a wee. Now, I discussed a bit more of a urge to go to the toilet a little bit earlier on in the video, but it's definitely strange because sometimes I can feel it like when baby moves. There's obviously more pressure on the bladder area, so therefore I'm like, whoa, okay, she's moved and now I really need to go for a wee. The final symptom is that my hair is still very, very frizzy. Can you see all of that frizz, all that flyaway? It doesn't matter whether I blow dry it, straighten it, whether I just do nothing with it. I've tried so many things to try and stop this insane frizz going on in my hair, but nothing is working. So at the moment, I just look very frizzy. But another thing that I noticed with my hair, particularly in this third trimester, I think, is that it never seems to get greasy anymore. I would normally wash my hair every other night, but lately I haven't needed to do that because it hadn't looked greasy. So sometimes I can actually leave it for 4 nights and not wash it. 4 nights in between washing of my hair, that's unheard of. I've never ever done that in my entire life. And my hair still looks fine. It doesn't look greasy, it doesn't look dirty, it just looks fine. And that's really, really strange. So did anybody else notice any of these symptoms during their third trimester or during other trimesters of their pregnancy? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're in the third trimester or you've been through the third trimester of pregnancy, what was your worst symptom that you had to deal with? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.